Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. I've had so many comments in the comments section of my videos about backup power and backup heat. And so I just wanted to do a video that demonstrates 3 of the easiest ways to get power to your natural gas or propane furnace in the event of an emergency power outage. Now, each of these 3 ways that I'm going to demonstrate in this video can totally be done by a homeowner who has a knowledge in electrical, but just as a word of caution, don't attempt to do any of this stuff if you're not comfortable with electricity. So let's get right into it. All right, so this is option number 1 on this temporary gas furnace that I have set up. I did a separate video of this, so if you want more detail, make sure and check out that video. But to simplify it, basically this outlet is just dedicated for this furnace. And so we have these 2 outlets here. You can use this one for, say, a condensate pump like this one I'm going to be wiring in. We could plug that in here. And this one is totally isolated from this power switch. So whenever these outlets are live coming from the breaker, this will never be live. I had a lot of people question that and they thought this would be live at some point. But this is basically like a toaster or a microwave. You simply plug it in to an outlet, and it would be silly to think that that outlet plug would ever be live. So in the event of an emergency, let's say there's no power coming to this breaker because nothing is coming in from the grid, we simply unplug this, and then we can plug this into a power station like this one that I'm going to be doing a video on here soon. We simply plug it in. You can do this inside of your home. You don't have to run a generator, and so it's quiet. And you can get days of use out of your gas furnace. Now, the great thing about this option is that some inspectors might say that this is not up to code. There is nothing unsafe about this as long as this gauge is the same as that gauge going up to your breaker panel. But in the event that you should have an inspector that says this is not good or something of that nature, you can easily revert this back to having just a switch here. But again, this is equally as safe as just having a switch, and this becomes your means of disconnect instead of having that switch. All right, so option number 2 is the easy generator switch. This is what I have personally set up in my furnace here. This is a dual fuel system. So we have 3 components here on the easy generator switch. So we have a 3-way switch. So when this is in normal mode, it's completely isolated from generator mode. And then in the event of a power outage, we would just switch this over to generator, which will completely isolate from the grid power. And then we would plug in an extension cord to these prongs here. Now, as you can see, this again will never be live. This is only to accept power from an extension cord that we're going to plug into our generator. And we need a male end on this side in order for that to work. Then up here we have a 15 amp breaker or fuse that will pop out in the event that there's a short or something wrong with the wiring, and you can determine what's wrong with it. So these are about $100. They're quite a bit more expensive than just running an outlet with a pigtail. You can do that for less than $20, but this has a lot of safety features and it looks pretty cool as well. If you'd like to see a full installation video of this one, make sure and check out that video, and we walk you through step-by-step how to wire this into your gas furnace. So option number 3 is a bit more involved here. So this is what we call a power inlet box. So same principle as the easy generator switch, except this is going to give power to our whole home. I've got this panel unscrewed here just so you can see what this looks like. So basically this is what's called an interlock kit, and as you can see it slides. So the purpose of this interlock kit is you need to turn this main off in the event of a power outage in order to slide this up and turn the generator breaker on. So this generator breaker just goes and is wired into the power inlet box. And so whenever this is turned on and this is off, we can select which circuits we want to power, such as our furnace and our fridge, things that we really need to have running, and we can plug in our generator here. Also, what we can do is use one of these. Now this is just an adapter that plugs in here. It has a little green light to let you know when it has power on, and this we can plug into our generator or our power station by means of a 110 volt plug. Now we could also get an adapter here for a 30 amp that can plug into larger power stations. I also have one of those. So you have options here, but again, this is a more ideal setup, being as you can run other items like your lights. But in the event of a true emergency where you just need heat in the home, the outlet option is one that can be done in a pinch with stuff that you can easily find at Home Depot. Whereas the easy generator switch, you're gonna have to think about that in advance and get that set up in advance, just like you would with this. This is not something that you can find at Home Depot, unfortunately. So if you're interested in getting yours set up, I probably did this for less than $100. This box was about $40. The interlock kit was $20, and the breaker was about $20 as well. The other advantage to this versus the easy generator switch or the outlet is that in the event of an emergency, I have mine set up as a heat pump. So this doesn't pull a whole ton of amps in the heating mode. So I have it set up to where gas is my primary and the heat pump is my backup. So in the event that we don't have gas or electricity, we can simply use this and we can get heat in our home. So those are the 3 ways that I recommend getting power to your natural gas furnace. This can also work with an oil burning furnace as long as it's a 110 volt application and not 220. There's many other ways that you can get power to your home, such as a transfer switch, or there's a piece that mounts between your electrical meter and the home that's called a Generlink. And they're pretty spendy, but they take all of the brain work out of this, and you can plug in your power station or your generator into that Generlink and have power, and it automatically transfers from grid power to the generator if you don't have power coming in from the grid. But overall, I've found that these 3 ways are definitely the easiest. And in addition to that, the outlet is something that you can do in the event of an emergency where you have to rush to Home Depot or Lowe's and grab these few components, wire it in, and you're good to go. Now, something to keep in mind when it comes to getting power is having a generator or a power station. I want to take just a second to talk about EcoFlow's Delta 2 Max that I recently did in a video. This is an amazing power station that has 2,000 watt hours of capability. I ran my gas furnace, which is an 80% furnace, for 20 hours of cycling in the middle of last winter, which is really impressive because it's such a small power station and completely quiet. You also have the capability of getting solar panels so you can keep that power station charged up, and then in the event of an emergency, you can use it and continually charge that power station, which is pretty awesome. EcoFlow has a wide variety of power stations to offer, including the Delta 2 Max, a smaller River 2 Pro, and they also have larger whole home battery backup systems that you can choose from. Click on the link in the video description where you can get an additional 5% off any item until November 30th. Well guys, I hope you found this video informative. If you've seen some of my other videos, you may have seen something similar, but I wanted to combine everything into one concise video and show you the different options that are available. Probably the one that's the most effective in the event of an emergency is the outlet. So if you're interested in seeing that full installation video, check it out right here, and I'm sure you'll find it informative. Until next time, you guys be safe. Later.